Hi everyone, Baz here, and today's video is something a little different. Normally on this channel I'm diving into the first 20 minutes of a game and figuring out whether it's worth your time, but this isn't a review of a game, this is a review of a gig. A Death Stranding concert to be precise, the Strands of Harmony at the Apollo in Hammersmith, London. And honestly, I really just wanted to share the experience, it was too special not to talk about. So if you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know how much Death Stranding means to me. It's not just a game I enjoyed, it's one that genuinely changed how I see the world. It became part walk and meditation and part therapy session for me. One thing that's always stuck with me about the game is the music. Not just the songs from Low Raw or Woodkid, but the score, the atmosphere, the way a single track can make you stop dead on a ridge in the game and just feel something. So when I heard there was going to be a worldwide concert tour, it wasn't even a question for me, I booked it instantly. Outside of video games, film scores are my biggest passion, and over the last couple of decades that's expanded into game scores too. I've been to game concerts before, Silent Hill being one of them that springs to mind, and sometimes they lean a little bit rock band on stage for my taste. I'm all about the orchestral underscore, the emotional backbone of the story, and this concert honestly delivered exactly what I hoped it was going to do. The show was split into two halves. The first half was Death Stranding 1 and the second half was Death Stranding 2. Now, I'm only about an hour into Death Stranding 2 myself, so I was a little worried about spoilers, but if anyone watching is in the same situation, you're totally safe. It's mostly atmospheric clips, there's nothing really story critical in there, there's nothing that ruins the experience, it just gets across the vibe. And what a vibe it was. I heard that one of the early shows had an opera singer who, let's say, wasn't quite a right fit for Low Raw, but the two singers they had in London were absolutely perfect. They both had beautiful voices, completely faithful to the tone of the game, and genuinely delivered emotional performances. Earlier on, there was even a touching tribute to Low Raw, which really did hit me. Sitting in a room full of people who connected to this world in the same way, it felt strangely communal for a game built around loneliness. The highlights for me? Well, the composer Ludvig Forssell came out and performed a few tracks, mainly some of the boss battle music on his guitar, and he looked like he was having the absolute time of his life. There's something incredibly charming about watching a composer rock out to their own boss theme while a full orchestra goes wild behind them. And speaking of the orchestra, this is where the night really got me. Hearing the cinematic orchestra live, the brass, strings, woodwinds, all thundering together was unbelievable. These are pieces that quite often sit quietly beneath gameplay, almost hiding under the sound design, but live they came alive. They were powerful, sweeping and emotional. I got goosebumps more than once. My wife actually came with me, and even though she barely even knows anything about the game, she turned to me afterwards and said how powerful the music was. That's when you know it's good, when it lands even outside the game's context. I also really enjoyed the conductor, who seemed that he probably wasn't the target audience for Death Stranding, but he was dropping lots of Death Stranding jokes and it just landed. And then there was the finale. Jenny Plant came out and performed BB's theme live, and honestly it was probably the emotional peak of the night for me. Her voice absolutely soared and it felt like the whole venue was holding its breath. Then the concert wrapped with Into the Wilder by Woodkid, a massive booming orchestral cover that honestly felt like a proper ending to a film. It was a huge sound, it was huge presence, and it was just incredible. So a small confession, despite how much I adore Death Stranding, I'm not actually super familiar with the score itself. When you're playing, the underscore often blends into the world, the wind, the rain, the footsteps, and BB having a bit of a meltdown. But hearing it presented like this, it really made me appreciate how rich and detailed the compositions actually are. It made me want to go back and listen to the soundtrack properly again from start to finish. All in all, it was an incredible night, a proper treat. There were loads of merch which I avoided because, self-control, and I already showed up dressed like a Death Stranding Christmas tree anyway. I had the Death Stranding 2 t-shirt, Cupid necklace, bracelets, absolutely no shame, it was the only time I'm ever going to wear them. If this concert tour passes anywhere near you, whether you're a fan of the games, game music, or just orchestral film style scores, I honestly can't recommend it enough. It massively exceeded my expectations. So that's it for me on this one, something a little bit more personal and off format, but I really wanted to share the experience. If you're new here, I normally review games based on their opening 20 minutes, retro stuff from my childhood and modern games too. So if that sounds like your thing, feel free to stick around. A subscribe would be amazing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.